Thank you for joining us for our second session on the FLSA. Again, I'm Jennifer George, the employment lawyer at Isaac Brandt, Ledman & Teeter. Our second session focuses on common areas of interest under the FLSA for employers. And I broke them down into 4 sections: attendance at meetings and trainings, travel regarding work, on-call time, and time pertaining to BlackBerry or laptop use issued by companies. First, attendance at meetings or trainings. Should it be compensated or should it not? The law is very strict as far as the test that should be used to determine that answer. And some of the factors they look at is whether did that employee attend the training voluntarily? Did that employee attend the training outside of work hours? Was that training directly related to the employee's tasks? And was the employee performing productive work inside the training? If the answer is that it was voluntary, it was outside of work hours, the employee did not perform productive work, and it was not directly related to the employee's tasks, then it is not compensated under the FLSA. The second topic that we're going to discuss is on-call time. How do you determine when an employee is on call, whether or not you compensate them? And the general broad brushstroke rule would be, how much does that on-call time impede the employee's personal time? For instance, there's a very specific example given. If an employee is required to call in within a certain time frame and is able to resume or continue in their natural personal work, or rather personal lives, then there's not really a constriction on their schedule and they should not be reimbursed for that on-call time. Next, a common area is BlackBerry use or laptop use that are issued by companies. There could be a de minimis usage, 1 to 2 minutes here. But if you're looking at a consistent basis where an employee is accruing multiple minutes per day, you want to consider developing a policy or procedure which provides for A, how that time is going to be recorded on a consistent and accurate base, and then B, how that will be compensated in the employee, because that will constitute work performed, which should be compensated under the FLSA. And finally, let's look at travel time. The general rule would be travel from work to home and vice versa, home to work, under the Portal to Portal Act would not be compensated for an employee. But there are certain exceptions. If that work is integrated into the workday and is part of the work performed, i.e. having to go get tools to go to a job site, that may be compensated as work. If it's an emergency situation where the employee must report into work, again, it may be compensated. Or if there's an unusual assignment where the employee may have to report to a different site to perform those activities which are required by the job, again, you may be looking at compensated work. It's hard to break down a very specific area of the law into definite fine line rules, but if you needed a general guiding principle to always look to, remember that the FLSA was created to protect employees and to ensure that they were going to be properly compensated for work that they performed. So you need to ask yourself, in a given situation, was there really work performed? Or was such an action required of the employee to perform the work that I require of them? Tune in for the next session where we talk about common ways to avoid liability under the FLSA. Thank you.